Did you know that Wolverine almost got eaten alive by a T-Rex? Yeah, Wolverine has probably gone through more pain than any other superhero in the MCU. Although he may not remember much about his past, it's not an issue because we remember them all. In this video, we'll be ranking the top 5 terrible things Wolverine has survived. Let's get started. Number 5. Steamrolled by the Punisher. On the 5th spot, we have Wolverine getting rolled over by one of the strongest characters in MCU, the Punisher. However, that was not all Wolverine went through in the battle against the Punisher. The scene is taken from his run on the 2001 edition of the Punisher series. In the series, we could see the well-known dislike of superheroes for Wolverine, which put the poor old guy through a terrible series of events. The whole problem began when Wolverine and the Punisher were both in New York because it led to the same case, knowing the method of operation of the culprit was cutting off their victims' legs and dragging them away. Both superheroes followed the blood, but Wolverine arrived first at the empty warehouse. Hiding and waiting for the culprit to arrive, Wolverine expected to see a villain. However, the Punisher arrived shortly, and Wolverine thought he had committed the crime. Both superheroes began fighting, and things became messy for Logan. First, the Punisher, Frank, shoots Logan in the face with his signature weapon, the Dragon's Breath shotgun. The gun melted Logan's face off. Although ambushed, Logan managed to get a couple of slashes in on Frank before he escaped to a nearby office. Then, he leaped into a room to follow Frank, but he received a baseball bat straight to the groin. Immediately, Frank began to pour gasoline on Logan immediately, hoping to set him on fire and slow him down to explain the situation. But the men were interrupted by a local mob, the real owners of the warehouse. They had to find a way to escape together. Nonetheless, Frank realized his attempt to kill Logan would affect his chances of catching the real culprit, so he pulled out his infamous shotgun again and shot Logan's nuts. After killing everyone, Frank returned to see Wolverine on the floor, swearing revenge on him as his legs began to heal. Logan almost stood up to attack Frank again. Frank, seeing that fighting with Wolverine will continue, the Punisher decides to give himself a head start by using a steamroller as a final attack on Logan. Number 4. Disease Overload. Logan's healing process is well known in the Marvel Universe, so every supervillain has tried to afflict him at least once. While we can blame his mutation for most sufferings Logan goes through because he can survive any torture, his enemies have rather gotten creative in their plan to eliminate the old hero permanently. An example of such an incident happened in 2010. Uncanny X-Force planned to kill the reborn and weakened boy version of Apocalypse X-Force, which had Wolverine, Archangel. Phantom X and Deadpool went to the boys' location, the moon, after their target managed to escape their first attempt. The team used its full pedal to the metal, but Apocalypse and his servants were prepared. As the team ran into the final horseman, a group was selected by Apocalypse in case all their options failed. Each horseman has one person representing each of the 4 actual horsemen of the Apocalypse. From the Christian War, Famine, Persistence, and Death, this group had some powerful members, but we will focus only on the act of Sanjar Javid, the bastard son of once River of Persia. In the past, Sanjar was popular and loved by the people for his generosity. Often he gave away costly metal trinkets to the commoners. One day, Sanjar discovered he was a mutant while giving out metal trinkets. His power allowed him to transmit terminal diseases when passing on various metals. Now he was facing Wolverine, a man full of metal. Do you see where this is going? After pulling death away from his companions, Wolverine fought against Sanjar, even having the upper hand momentarily. However, he made a serious mistake when he stabbed the villain with the popular metal claws. Sanjar soon overloaded Logan's healing factor with terminal diseases, including cancer and lupus. Logan only survived because Phantom X used his ability of misdirection to snatch him away and replace Wolverine with one of Sanjar's allies, who dies immediately, getting the same treatment. Sanjar and the remaining horsemen swore revenge, but Logan escaped to fight another day. Although we have seen some bad things happen to Logan, the worst is yet to come. Number 3. Death of all his children. Logan's healing body ensures that most plans to hurt him fail. His enemies realized that they couldn't hurt the Wolverine unless they could home a planet together or bend reality. Nevertheless, they found another way to really hurt Logan by attacking his mind and mental state. The number 3 spot explains what happened to his mental state after an elaborate sinister plan by the Red Right Hand group. Wolverine unknowingly killed most of his children because the group set him up. The group consisted of family members of Logan's victims throughout the years. Their first plan sent Logan to hell, where he was processed by a demon, which almost forced his friends to kill him. However, Wolverine finally reached their base of operations in 2010. The first of 5 unknown mutants waiting for Logan was quickly killed before Wolverine did carnage and killed everyone mutant. As he walked into the conference room where the human members of the group had been watching the entire massacre, he found that all of them had committed suicide by drinking poison. Nonetheless, Logan found a pre-recorded video from the group leader playing on the screen around him. The video explained who the group members were and their agenda before dropping a piece of shocking news. All the mutants he killed to reach the room were a child of his with his past lovers, and he never knew they existed. The news broke to Wolverine as he fell to his knees, and for some time refused to leave. He even buried all his children next to their mothers. It was one of the most painful events in his life. Later, he tries to search for all his past lovers, only to discover they are all dead. After taking some time for self-reflection and some acts of heroism alongside a moral boost from friends, Logan regained his mental state and continued being a hero. Number 2. Ripped Out Skeleton. We have seen some terrible things happen to Wolverine that he survived, but this one is among the worst solutions the hero found himself in during his 200 years of existence. The classic scenario came from Chris Claremont's popular XMen series. If you don't know already, the entry shows him getting his adamantium skeleton ripped out. Most comic fans are surprised that this situation hasn't happened earlier in all the years Magneto and Logan fought each other. After all, Magneto can control metal, and Logan is a person with a fully metal-coated skeleton. Anyway, the scenario finally happened in X-Men 1991, issue number 25. With Magneto posing a significant threat to the planet following his newest attack, a worldwide EMP blast, Professor Xavier organized a team to take Magneto out once and for all, finally. The team consisted of Wolverine, Jean Grey, Gambit, Quicksilver, Rogue, and himself to head out to space to battle the Master of Magnetism. Typically, the situation didn't go as planned, and finally fed up with Wolverine, Magneto snapped and used his ability to rip Logan's skeleton out. Ouch. The entire experience left Wolverine with serious injuries, as the liquid adamantium slowly leaked out of his body. It hardened and created multiple large spikes jutting out of his body. Logan survived the attack because the gene consoling his mind worked hard to hold his body together. Wolverine only stabilized after the X-Men returned to Earth's atmosphere and began to recover naturally. Nonetheless, the loss of his adamantium delayed Logan's healing factor for a long time. Number 1. Sabretooth. Another depressing entry to our list of terrible things that Wolverine survived, Sabretooth. We have reached the top of the list. Sabretooth's existence alone is a cause of concern for Logan, but wait a minute for us to explain the history between Wolverine and Sabretooth. Logan and Sabretooth share an extensive history of the rivalry. Therefore, it is unsurprising that things become messy when the two characters run into each other. Although it looks like the same person is living different lives, both are a reflection of each other. They also share the incredible healing factor, claws, and long lives due to their involvement with Weapon X, among other things. But let's focus on the difficult circumstances of Wolverine. So we will explain some of the most twisted acts Sabretooth has done to Logan. Sabretooth Creed tracks Logan down on his birthday and ruins whatever he does for himself during that time. The first and most popular occasion was when Creed hunted Logan to a remote location in Canada. Logan had settled with his wife, Silver Fox, but Creed only needed a day to ruin their lives. When Logan returned home, his wife died and her body was mutilated on the floor. Her dried blood spelled out happy birthday. Still, Creed didn't allow Logan to process the scene before jumping in and starting a fight with him. Over the years, the birthday tradition continued no matter the time or place, and it usually ends in a bloody fight. Creed likes to appear whenever Logan finds a bit of stability and happiness. Ultimately, Sabretooth/Creed incites chaos in poor old Logan's life. For example, he chained Logan's spaceship and crashed them into a distant planet. He also enjoys killing Logan's allies. That's it, folks, and as Stan Lee would say, Excelsior! Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to get up to speed on related Marvel comic book titles. Thank you for watching, and bye!